Biofuels. Biofuels are renewable fuels made from biological materials, and they help replace traditional fossil fuels. The biofuel I selected is ethanol, which is one of the most widely used in the United States. It's made from plant sources, mainly corn, and is blended into gasoline to power millions of vehicles every day. Ethanol is important because it's renewable and can reduce some of the environmental impacts associated with gasoline. Most U.S. ethanol comes from corn growth on large farms. Farmers plant the seeds, maintain the fields with water, fertilizer, and sunlight, and then harvest the crops once they're fully grown. The key part is that the corn kernels store starch, which can later be turned into sugars. These sugars are what eventually get fermented into ethanol, so growing healthy, high-yield corn is essential for fuel production. Corn starts by capturing sunlight through photosynthesis, building up energy-rich starches. After harvest, these starches are broken down into simple sugars. Yeast is added to start fermentation, which converts those sugars into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Finally, the ethanol is distilled and purified so it can be blended into fuel. This technology is mature, reliable, and used across the country. Ethanol is fully commercial and widely used in the U.S., with common blends like E10, E15, and E85. Environmentally, ethanol can help reduce carbon emissions because the corn absorbs CO2 while it grows. However, the exact impact depends on factors like farming practices and energy used in production. Economically, ethanol supports farming communities and creates jobs, but increased corn demands can raise food prices, and it can require expensive fuel infrastructure upgrades. The public learns about ethanol through pump labels, government agencies, automakers, and biofuel organizations. Flex fuel vehicles and fuel blend labels help drivers understand what they can use. Based on current data, ethanol does reduce emissions, but its benefits vary depending on sustainability. To keep improving, we should focus on sustainable agriculture and investing in low-carbon cellulosic ethanol made from non-food materials. Moving forward, we should invest in advanced cellulosic ethanol, which has a much lower environmental impact than corn-based ethanol. Improving national fuel infrastructure would make higher ethanol blends more accessible. More funding for crop research and public education would also help. If money weren't a limitation, the best plan would be to build a large-scale cellulosic ethanol plants across the country and modernize fuel systems nationwide, which would greatly improve sustainability and long-term impact. Thank you for listening. All my information came from the U.S. Department of Energy, Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, Nebraska Corn Board, and the U.S. Department of Energy Alternative Fuels Data Center.